Right, hello everyone, welcome to Sunday Night with Hilly, and we are here for the final round of the season. Obviously, I've only been here for a few rounds, but it's been absolutely brilliant. It's been fun since I've been here, and I think the guys have had fun through the season, so which is the main thing. But the other main thing is who is the battle between. So it is the final round. It is a championship battle in both the drivers and the constructors championship. So let me catch you up before qualifying starts properly. So the Drivers' Championship is a two-way battle. It is only two drivers that could potentially win it tonight. So Greza is leading the way, and he is definitely, without doubt, the pre-race favourite going into this one. He has a 12-point championship lead over Jesus, who is in the Alpines. So it's a Drivers' Championship battle between Greza and Jesus tonight. 12 points difference, so I'm just taking a quick look, and if Jesus was to win and Greza came third, that would be 12 points, and it would actually mean that Jesus has won more races, so that is how close it would be. If Jesus can win this race, and Greza would need to finish higher than third. Constructors' Championship also close, but it is a three-way battle, so it's the two teams of the drivers involved. So Alpine are leading the way, so that's Jesus' team with 447. Williams are second, so Greza's team on 420, with Mercedes in third on 410. Although they only have one driver tonight, which means, from what I can tell, that does mean that they are out of the running. They can't win the championship with just one driver, so that would be a gutter, wouldn't it? I wouldn't be very happy with my teammate. But yeah, at the moment, it's only a big deal, unless we got anybody joining in during qualifying at some point. Anyway, let's get to the drivers on track. One of the Red Bulls is out first. Todgerd, it is out first. And hello, Nisev. Nowhere. Oh, damn it. Damn it. We've been open for a full wet Abu Dhabi, but you don't get that very often, and we're not going to get it tonight then, apparently. Never mind this, yeah. There's always next time. Always next season. So, championship decider. These moments don't come around very often. Actually, just the once a season, generally, and you don't always get them. So, you know, always exciting when it does come down to it, but it's not a guarantee. I do apologise if anybody's ear has just got blown out. I've just realised I was indeed driving last night, so my sound settings are up high. What's that? Sound settings, where's that? I can't find it now. There, audio. There we go. Get that down to 4. Right, there we go. So, Soldier then first onto a hot lap, heading down the first part of the straight. And I always think this chicane right in the middle of the straight is possibly the most difficult part of the track. I think it's just so important to your lap time to get it spot on. I think that its importance makes it the most difficult. So as we head into the new sector, it's much. I think it is better. I used to like the old S bend layout sort of thing that you had before. I thought it was quite cool because it was quite unique. But the new left-hander is pretty unique as well. So. Still interesting. Into the final corner, then down to fourth. Open up the steering across the line, and we get started off with a 23.7. So decent start from Tolgerd. One of the McLarens heads to the line. That's Connor, 24.7. Now the other Red Bull then of Convicted Wolf. Red Bull maybe looking to finish the season strongly. Down to third. in the final corner. It is very much a preference. You will see some drivers using third, some using fourth. It's not, nothing is correct. It's just a personal preference. So that is a Red Bull 1-2 at the moment, 24-1. Got an Alfa Romeo heading for the line. This is Bubble. 125.6 goes P4 for the moment. Next is the Haas of Jack. 25.3 goes into P4 just ahead of Bubble. The other McLaren now of Matrix, actually, he's just starting a lap. And just looking down, I think Max is that who's about to cross the line yet. So on the mediums, Max 124.684 goes P3. But let's go to Matrix because he's now the only one on a lap, so we can watch almost a whole lap with him. Down to the hairpin. Sensitive, turning in. Again, another corner is so important to your lap time because you've got to. You must be able to open up your steering and get on the power quickly to take it all the way down the straight with you. So that affects how you actually take the corner in the first place. And say the old adage is slowing fast out, and the reason for that is because that's where the lap time is. So it's the exits of the corners that tends to matter most when it comes to lap times. So the long series of right-handers and then into the heavy braking right-hander. This part of the track very, very difficult. It's extremely low on traction as Jack goes fastest on a second attempt lap, 23.6, good lap, especially for a second attempt. Here comes Matrix then, 26.3, P7 for the moment, but I think he'll have more in him. Around to Nisyev, just around the final corner, 122.2 goes fastest, absolutely blitzes the field behind at this stage. A lot of drivers still to go yet though. And in fact, this Ferrari of Deadly Supreme will be the next onto a lap. Let's just check Matrix Alien. Unfortunately, I didn't see his first split time. But, Matrix might be having another go. Maybe if we can see him up to the end of sector 2, and if he's not improving, we'll move back to Deadly Supreme, who's just coming over the line now. So yeah, half a second up. I had a feeling he might go again. Stick with him and then switch to Deadly straight after. Into the final corner then, and definite improvement, just over half a second, 5.5 tenths. P8, 25.8 now, looking much more competitive. Let's go to Deadly Supreme, he's just going through the chicane. The RS open again now to head past the grandstands. Ideally placed, of course, because these are the places you're most likely to see the overtaking. There's multiple opportunities around Abu Dhabi, which is why it makes for a good season-ending race, I think. But the best opportunities, of course, are the long DRS straights. It's a couple of little mistakes from Deadly Supreme just in the final sector. Definitely going to affect his lap time, so you know there's plenty of more time. 23.9, that puts him to P4 in a way. But you will know there's plenty more time in that. And here comes our championship leader, 22.6 for Greziko's P2, just behind Nisyev. Someone else just jumped up. Big D's just gone into P3 for Mercedes. Who else we got? Anybody? Nick, 22.3 goes P2. And Grimmy's taking the Alfa Romeo into P4 on a 22.8. Here is our other championship contender, Jesus. Comes into the penultimate corner, flat out these days, of course. Never used to be. But, he's now. Apologies if you can hear anybody dying in the background. It's just my dad. He's absolutely fine. So no worries. McLaren then Matrix back to the pits. Mushroom Kingdom just coming around to set his first time of the evening. The Wicking and Paul Pitty still to go. So Mushroom over the line, 1:23.948. That puts him into P9. Not a bad start to the session. Let's see if we can spot anybody improving. I think they're coming back to the pits pretty much. Jesus goes into P6. 3 places behind Grez at the moment. Still early doors in qualifying. It's close. And of course the other Williams and Alpine. Sorry. The other Williams is Max. He's currently in P12. He validated this lap, but I think he's just heading back to the pits in a way. And Paul Pitty is the other Alpine who's yet to come out on track. Shev back on an out lap. Is any of these guys onto a hot lap? Maybe Max is starting one. Bubble might be on one. Yeah, he's ever so slightly down in sector 1. He'll easily be gained back through the rest of the sectors. Then down to chicane. The activation for the DRS is just or the detection, sorry, not the activation, the detection for the DRS is just before the chicane, just before your brake pretty much. Activation, of course, just after the chicane. I didn't see the sector time then, I just completely missed it. Oop. That, however, will be an invalidation as Max was improving through sector 1 and he's now 3.5 tenths up when he crosses the sector 2 split line. So not on target to gain any places just yet, but on an improvement nonetheless, and obviously we'll switch straight to Misiev, who's on his way up towards the end of sector 2. Max across the line, 4.5 tenths improvement, stays P12, but a much more competitive time. Misiev then, I didn't see a split time, so I'm not sure. If anybody's looking to get us into the 21s tonight, this round probably is. Very close here, 22.3. He just slid a little bit, just got a bit of oversteer out the final corner, and I think that killed the lap time. He may have been on for a slight improvement otherwise. Victor Wolf in the Red Bull just coming around to the end of the final sector, ready to go for a second run. So let's do the hilly hot lap with Convicted Wolf. So we're on board over the line to start the second run of the evening, hoping to move above 11th, down to 4th gear for turn 1, open up the steering, don't touch the sausage curb on the outside, but you can use anything up to there, flat out through the left and the right. Again, open up the steering as quick as you can, use the power, down to the hairpin, brake at the 50 metre board, down to 3rd gear, open up the steering again, get on the power as quick as you can, get ready to open DRS, and we head all the way now up the longest straight of the lap, which then is disrupted by this chicane. It's a heavy braking zone, good use of the inside curb on both corners of the chicane. Open up the steering again, get on the power as quick as you can, but be a bit careful, the traction's not great coming out of there. DRS open again, down to this new section of track at the end of sector 2. We are purple through the second sector, quite a big improvement, about half a second improvement at the moment. Then we head through these multiple right-handers, and then again another heavy braking zone. Turn the car in, then careful getting on the power throughout. Little series of lefts, easy to invalidate if you've got a bit too much power down coming out the final one of those left-handers. Then the two rights to finish off the lap. The first one flat out, the second one usually taking in third or fourth. 6.5 tenth improvement for Convicted Wolf in the end, goes into P7. Alpha Tauri, that's Mushroom on an outlap, so I think we'll be going to Brezza actually. It was slightly up through sets of one, so 38 thousandths up through sets of one. Down to the end of sets of two. He's just lost a bit and he's 2 thousandths down, but plenty of time to be gained in the final set, so there always is. I believe around here sets of three is one of those sets which you can never really do perfectly. There's always a little bit of time somewhere. Comes then. Just listen to the engine, and flat out it was. Down to third for the final corner, opening up steering. Just quickly shift onto fourth, and it's just over half a tenth improvement. Stays P3, but improves his time to make it harder for others to catch him. And to Mushroom then, who must be on a lap now, and is again slightly up in sets of one. 19 thousandths. And up then. And again, just gained a bit more through sets of two, so another 600ths. 79 thousandths up through sets of two. We do for the final set, so pretty nice through the right-hander. Say it is difficult on traction through these left-handers. You've got to trust yourself. It's all looked pretty good to me. Down to third for the final corner, open up the steering, use a bit of exit curb. And yeah, gained some nice time through the final set, so it's a 3.5 tenth improvement from Mushroom, goes into P8. Let's just started the lap, I think we've got, so let's go to Jesus then. Obviously the spotlight is mainly on Grez and Jesus tonight. So with Mercedes only having the one car out there, it does take them out of the Constructors' title race. Potentially still get second, but no more than that, as Jesus makes a mistake in the new section of the track, and that will be the end of that lap. You've got then, there's a Haas heading for the line. Oh, that's this Yev on an out lap. Who else could gain? Grez has done enough, and they wouldn't have time obviously for another run. So, right, Mercedes, Big D, that's an out lap as well. Here is Jesus, who we know didn't get it right. Red Bull, Convicted Wolf, hasn't got it right either. Has he got time to start another lap? I think that's what he's looking to do. Yeah, 10 seconds still. So he will go on to another lap. And we've got the other Williams of Max is invalidated. Tauri, find him. It's Mushroom Kingdom, who's on an in lap. Oh goodness me, I should have just stuck with this Yev, shouldn't I? Soldiered. On for the line he is. It's a line. Not sure why he crossed the track like that. 2 tenths down in the end there. Deadly Supreme just over 2 tenths up. Nick goes fastest and takes the provisional pole off of Misyev. Deadly Supreme jumps up to P7, but then somebody else jumps up directly behind him. I think it was Grimmy. A couple of other cars crossing the line. Here is Misyev, he's a 10.5 up. He is on target to retake that pole position. Nice use of the curb on the exit, and he does take it back. Almost 3 tenth improvement. Doesn't quite get into the 21s for the 1:22.008. Very worthy pole time. Here is Big D through the final corner. Needs to make up some time in the final sector, and did do. gained 35 thousandths, but he's missed out on P5 by 2 thousandths of a second. Here comes Convicted Wolf, 10th and a half, down 3 sets of 2. Can he find anything? Well, I don't know. Where did he end up? P9? I don't think he did improve. So, there we have it. That's our qualifying. That's where they're going to be starting from for this championship decider. So, Nisyev, pole position, Nick P2. Our championship contenders, P3 for Greza, P7 for Jesus. So there's not much between them. They're teammates because of the Constructors title as well, of course. Williams' teammate Max is in P12. Paul Diddy in the Alpine is P17. For whatever reason, the Wicken and Paul, I don't know if they had quality bans or whether they've just decided not to set a lap. Could be either. He might decide that he's better off trying to keep out of trouble. There's instance, there was terminal damage for a bubble close to the end somewhere. I'm not sure. I didn't see that, so I don't know when that happened. But just in case, stewards need to look at those. I don't think they will, but just in case. Okay, guys, so as always, any drivers listening, we do take a quick break, so please don't ready up until you are told by the admins. Other than that, guys, we're just going to take a quick break. We'll be back for the formation lap where we'll do a full grid rundown. Congratulations on pole position, Nisyev. Yeah, it's a good little battle at the end there. But as I say, guys, I'm going to take a quick break. I'm just going to grab myself another coffee and I'll be back. Okay, guys, back with you. Oh, Nick's left the session. That's not good, is it? Nothing I can do at the moment on these screens. This screen. Hey, Apple. You could just say Nis. It's easier. I like Nisyev. I like saying the names like that. Unless I'm saying it wrong. Right. Okay. I'm just having a quick look in the chat. The go time is 8:42. I was just double checking after that. Does seem to be somebody having a bit of trouble with connection, but no word on that. So I assume we're going as expected. So Greza leads the championship from Jesus by 12 points. That is the difference between first place and third place. So if the incredible were to happen and they were to end up on level points at the end, Jesus does have the most wins over the season. I believe it's 4-3 in his favour at the moment. So obviously if Greza won and levelled that up, he'd win in a way on points. So that can only be useful to Jesus now. As the single red light comes on, indicating the starts of the formation lap, and we head off. Nick joins back. Nick, if you can hear me, don't forget you can't take control until the formation lap is over. So we'll do that. Anyway, quick grid rundown then. So Nisyev starts on pole position for Haas alongside Nick for AlphaTauri. Championship leader Greza starts P3 alongside Grimmy in 4. Jack for the second Haas in P5. Big D on his own in Mercedes tonight starts P6. Our championship contender Jesus starts P7 alongside Deadly Supreme in 8 for Ferrari. Convicted Wolf starts in 9 while Mushroom Kingdom fills out the top 10. Tolgerd then starts in P11 for Red Bull, and Max, who is the second Williams in the Constructors Battle, starts P12. Connor Forber for McLaren in P13 with Bubble P14. Matrix in P15 with the Wiccan P16. Who opted not to set a lap in qualifying, as did Constructors Championship contender Paul Piddy for Alpine, who has opted to start at the back, and that could well be a strategy selection. Opting to start at the back gives him the best opportunity maybe to avoid any early trouble. On that note, he has fallen way back. He does need to catch up. It's like a safety car in formation, like you should be within 10 car lengths of the car ahead. So it looks to me like he's trying to. Looks like there's a McLaren that's had a spin actually. It's not Matrix, so it must be Connor. Yeah, Connor's just had a bit of a spin. In terms of tyre then, the top 3 starting on mediums. Grimmy then is the highest hard starter in P4. Jack on the mediums, Big D on the hards, Jesus on the mediums, so both title contenders on the medium tyres. Deadly Supreme and Convicted Wolf on the hard tyres. Mushroom in P10 starting on the mediums, as is Tolgerd, Max, Connor and Bubble. Matrix, who's just gotten himself disqualified from the formation lap, is the only soft starter, while the Wiccan and Paul Piddy also opt to start on the medium tyre tonight. So let's go towards the front then. So you have Nisyev on your left, Nick on your right. All the lights are on. Out they go, and we are go in Abu Dhabi for the championship showdown. And it looks like Nisyev's got off to a good start. Greza seems to momentarily get alongside Nick, but does back out in the end. There's cars round behind. Big D drops to the back. He is spun and drops to the back. It looks like Bobble's gone round as well. Well, the end plate seems to be bobbling around all over the place, and I don't know whose end plate that was. It looks like it may well have been Matrix actually. May have lost more than his end plate here, but let's get to the front again. So big crashes to start the race, but nobody's actually retired. So everybody is still going. But I believe Matrix has severe damage. Bubble gets back ahead of Big D at the chicane. So here is Jack making a move on the Ferrari of Deadly Supreme. And through he goes into P6. So at the actual fronts, it is all pretty stable. Jesus, by the way, has gotten up into P5. Let's just have a look at the position changes. So Jesus up 2, just 2 behind Greza now, and they are in a little DRS train at the front, the top 5. Jack P6 then is a couple of seconds behind, so you can see that gap there on your screen. Williams moving to the inside, having a look into turn 1. Max there having a look at Tolliard, but that's never really alongside enough. The Wiccan then is into the pits, as is Matrix, so both those two were the ones that needed to pit to repair damage. Everybody else got away without the damage, so they'll just continue on and try and claw back their race. Oh, Matrix has opted to just retire out of the race. That's a shame. Last race of the season. Let's, there we go. Here we go then. Matrix leaves the session. Max making the move on the Red Bull of Tolliard. So this would be Williams into P3 and P8 if he can pull this off. Tolliard on the inside just gets the better corner speed and holds him off in the end. So they will settle for P3 and P9 at the moment. So Nick sets fastest lap on the second lap of the race. Just get those tyres back up for you. As you can see, so the medium tyres working pretty well at the moment, but Grimmy on the hard tyre is sticking with the top 3. And he's not really draining his energy either to do so. I mean, he's used some, but so are the guys ahead of him, so he's not really using more than those around him to stay with them, which is good news. Certainly later in the race, Grimmy may well have a real shot at this tonight. Deadly have a chance here. We'll have DRS. See, is he going to be able to get the overspeed? He's not using any energy on overtake or anything like that, so looks like he's just happy to be there at the moment, just happy to stay there. He's on the hards, so being able to leech some DRS off of a driver on mediums at this point is not a bad place to be. So obviously enables him to retain his battery. Did make a little mistake there, might have got a warning. Let's just head back up then to the top 5. Oh, seems to be, is it still top 5 or top 4 now? No, it is still top 5. I just couldn't see this yet, I don't think at the start, at the front. They are all still within the DRS range of each other. At the moment, early doors, and I touch wood when I say this, but they've been pretty rosy for Greza at the moment. He will be a little bit disappointed to see that Jesus managed to get onto the back of this group. So he is in the mix. So obviously, how on earth is Jesus going to be able to somehow get ahead of this group? So really, he needs to win the race. Unless something was to actually happen to Greza, Jesus does really need to win this race. So all pretty calm at the moment, the top 5. I don't think any of them are particularly looking at making any moves at this stage. Deadly Supreme right on the back of Jack for P6 still. Again, seems to me like he's pretty happy to stay there, but that said, he's now got Soldier and Max. Well, in fact, he's got 4 cars who have now come onto the back of him. Look, see, Red Bull Soldier just runs wide on the final corner. Again, might have got a warning for that. Might have gotten away with it. Not sure. So this looks like our most likely overtake opportunity. So we've got a yellow flag. I think that's Paul Piddy. It is. He's gone into the pits. I only assume this is for damage. It is, yeah. I can see a front wing has come out. So some front wing damage somewhere. That's what this is for. And the change happens. He goes on to hard tyres and will exit the pits in P16. It's Deadly Supreme. Here we go. It's on the outside around the newer part of the track and couldn't make it work. It is difficult around the outside. Obviously the driver on the inside has the sort of path of least resistance, if you like. Oh, but a little mistake there from Jack. He's getting pretty tight behind as well, and Sodgert runs wide again there. And this time, that must have been his 3rd, because he's picked up a 3-second penalty. Sorry, Deadly Supreme was a little bit wide coming out of turn 1 there, and that may well have been a warning as well, as Paul looks like he's round at the chicane. I think that's coming out of the chicane. I think he's maybe been a bit power hungry coming out of it. Difficult one for Paul, but he needs to keep going because of the Constructors' Championship. Any points he can bring home will be vital, especially at the moment with Williams scoring pretty well, and Deadly Supreme ended up side by side coming out of the chicane, picks up the DRS, but Jack got a much better exit, and in fact Deadly Supreme is coming under threat here from Solgerd, and he's going to run out of tarmac, and does indeed. Never really got alongside, just about got his front left alongside, but it's not sufficient, so Deadly Supreme perfectly within his rights to take the racing line. Hobble picks up 3 seconds, 3 drivers with penalties now. And pretty sure that there'll be plenty more before the end of the race. It's reasonably easy to pick up pens around here. It's not as bad as the likes of Canada, but it is reasonably easy. Top 5 just seem so content just to sit where they are, and the Red Bulls are battling and switching positions here. I don't know whether Todger let off to maybe let his teammate through, maybe because of 3 seconds, but it's maybe left him a little bit vulnerable here to Max. You can see the light flashing away on the rail. Goodness me! Good reactions, Max. Oops. That nearly went very wrong, but Max... the reactions from Max not to hit the back of that Red Bull, but look at the Alpha Tauri is saying thank you very much, guys, and going down the outside and taking both places as Soldier picks up another 3 seconds. It's all over the place. What is going on? And Max has ended up in the wall and losing a wing, and that's a virtual safety car. I have to say that Soldier was all over the place there. It's not the best example of side-by-side racing from Soldier, in my opinion. But Max will be pretty angry with that. They need to outscore Alpine heavily tonight. So a couple of stops. Deadly Supreme is in for Ferrari. Max then to repair that front wing. And Deadly Supreme's gone to mediums. He came off of hards to go to mediums. Max is going to softs. And Bubble has picked up a drive-through penalty. Speeding under virtual safety car. I'll tell you now, Greza will not particularly want to be seeing virtual safety cars tonight, because he will not want that risk of getting a drive-through. Last thing Greza wants is CVSCs. Sometimes you get them just through pure bad luck, as Mushroom is round coming out of the chicane. There's Big D coming up fast. It's 3 seconds, and I believe he's crashed out of the final corner. He has just gone into the pit wall, and we've got the leaders now coming round. Jesus. I enjoy seeing that they're lapping this teammate at this stage. Soldiered into the pits. Is this a front wing change maybe? It is indeed. Some may say that's a bit of karma. Oh, what was that? Saw somebody. Was it Mushroom out wide? I think it was. And Big D is nipped through there. Got yellow flags again, and that seemed to be... Oh no, it was Paul. It was Paul letting people through, I believe. As is this yellow flag as well. It's just Paul who is the car there on the left-hand side. So the top 5 continue on in a way exactly how they were. Convicted Wolf now is the man on the back of Jack. He's had a hard tyre driver right on the back of him throughout, really. Deadly Supreme, having pitted, mind. Deadly Supreme has come out in P9. That ain't bad going. He's right on the back of Big D with superior tyres! And missing his braking quite substantially. Slam into the back of Big D. I don't think, at first look, that that's caused either driver any damage. I think they got away with one there. But, have it. That yellow flag is Paul. I hope he's not coming up to retire. I know it's difficult, it's a lap down, but to say every point counts tonight. And Mushroom and Bobble into the pits. But here's Deadly Supreme then. As Paul reaches the pits. Deadly Supreme with DRS. Gets down the inside of Big D. And now he will be looking up the road. Jack is 13.5 seconds up the road. Deadly Supreme has made a stop. He was probably going to have to make another one. And Paul Pitty does indeed retire in the pits. Surely his team, surely his teammate will be seeing that and thinking, what are you doing? So Convicted Wolf has gotten ahead of Jack here, and what's happened to Big D? Something's happened to Big D, isn't it? It was Deadly Supreme who got past him with the fresh tyres, and now he's behind the Wiccan. 13 points behind 13 seconds behind Deadly Supreme. It's a big deal. I think there's had a spin there somewhere. So Paul Pitty's car comes back out onto track and then retires itself. So, I was just having a quick look on Discord, see if there are any comments, but nothing at the moment. From anyone. Here is Jack trying to come back at Convicted Wolf, but ultimately Convicted Wolf on the hards should have a slight advantage by now, I would have thought. It won't be much. Should have a slight advantage. The only thing my attention is starting to turn to now is when do the front five pit? Is there going to be an attempt at undercuts? Is it a case of you don't want to undercut because you want to have the better tyres in the second stint? Hey Gunnar, yeah, all good, thank you very much, and enjoying this championship battle at the moment. Drivers' Championship between Greza and Jesus in P3 and P5. Greza holds a 12-point advantage going into this race, so really, Jesus really needs to win this race. If he does, and Greza didn't finish second, then he would take the title. Obviously, lots of more connotations than that, but the main thing he does have to do, of course, is get ahead of Greza. Is a constructors' battle going on as well. Mercedes are out of that. And into the pits comes Greza. He's not leaving the possibility of an undercut for Jesus. So he's going to pit first. Now he'll be saying with all his might, please do not bring out a safety car now. Whatever you do, no safety car or VSC, please. Where is he going to exit? I'm just looking up. He should get out ahead of that Ferrari quite comfortably. So, should exit P7 with a nice bit of road to drive into. So this undercut, as long as it's not interrupted by anything, this undercut could be pretty substantial. As we've got a change at the front. Our first change at the front as Nick finally gets past Nisiev. Now, is that a sign that Nick is going to come into the pits? Could well be, but Nisiev's coming back. Here he comes, they're side by side. Nisiev's on the outside. And despite the inside advantage for Nick, I think Nisiev should be able to hold this. He'll have the inside for the next series of corners. So yeah, Nisiev back into P1. Nice bit of battling from the two of them. And I definitely think that these two may both be pitting, because I think that's why they were choosing to do battle there. Let's see then. They do both take to the pit lane. Grimmy carries on. I think he read that. And what did Jesus do? Yeah, Jesus followed them in as well. So where is Greza? He's just come up to the penultimate corner. Jack into the pits now as well. And Greza is going to get all of them, isn't he? We're heading up to turn 1. And look, he's definitely going to get them. He's pretty neck and neck with Nisiev. He should be on our left side somewhere, but he is going to nip ahead. So the undercut works. The undercut has worked for Greza. But will the one extra lap of wear be costly in the end? It's interesting. And Grimmy, of course, he started on the hard. She'll probably be going for another lap or two yet. And we'll then be looking to come back at this group with medium tyres later in the race. So, it's one of those. Grimmy will be looking at his timings. Not so much to convict. He may say to himself that, as Greza comes back on Nisiev up the inside, and retakes P3. But Grimmy may decide that until these guys get past Convicted Wolf, that he's not even going to consider pitting. You would expect that to be pretty soon. Oh, actually, forget that. Grimmy is in. Grimmy has reacted. I think I might have left it a little bit longer, maybe a lap or two longer, just to have that extra advantage. But onto the mediums he goes, and he's on his way out. Here comes Greza down the pit straight. As you can see on the track map, they do get ahead. They all get ahead, in fact, of Grimmy. So he will be the one at the back of this group, which now has Convicted Wolf in there. Got a yellow flag. That is a McLaren. I believe that's Connor. Just made a mistake, I think, at the chicane on the straight. The wicking in as well for Ferrari. Shev coming back at Greza once again. Could be a carbon copy of last lap. Sure, Greza would love to take a race win to finish off this championship, but the championship must come first. Got a feel that this might be Nisyev's best opportunity, though, to actually get away here, because he's got that. He's got an advantage, hasn't he? So whether he knows that, he's been behind Greza. So if Greza was flashing when he was behind, then he will know that. But, we'll see. Grimmy already passed Jesus, and he's already within a second of Nick, albeit only just. But he's flying. He may win this race. He's got a chance. He's definitely got a chance. But you feel he may need to get the overtakes done and maybe get a gap before the tyres go off. I don't think that the hard guys will have an advantage over Grimmy until much, much nearer the end. It may only be the last lap or two, you know. So I think that yellow flag was Connor again in McLaren. I think the same place. I think he's had a little mistake at the same place in the chicane. So rides at the moment are sort of drawn towards Grimmy, as Nisyev has pulled a second over Greza, which is important. Wolf getting past Max further down. Max, of course, will need to pit again, having pitted to the sauce when he needed to repair the damage. Grimmy in his pursuit. He's got past Nick. He's after Greza and sets fastest lap of the race. That's why I'm sort of staying with him, really, because it's really important laps at this stage in terms of the race win tonight. It's looking like, because he's already gotten within the 1 second of Greza, there's going to be a big question mark. Can he get, once past Greza, can he then get into the 1 second of Nisyev? Not going to do it this lap, is he? He's not quite going to make it this lap, so we'll have to hold off almost certainly until the long straight on the next lap. And Jesus has gotten past Nick, so again important. And not only has he gotten past Nick, he's within a second of Grimmy. Which also means, effectively, that he's within a second of Greza. Oh, that's a safety car! Oh, Connor has binned it just here, actually. He's just there on the left-hand side. That's coming out of turn 2, presumably. Car does like to snap to the left-hand side. It's a bit setup dependent. If you do get yourself slightly wrong, it will snap you over there. Or if you like an aggressive setup on the front end, particularly, it will snap you over there. So it's not a particularly unusual place, really. And, well, into the pits, Deadly Supreme, Jack, Todgered. I don't know. I guess Jesus will be pretty pleased. Ultimately, he needs Grezza somehow to drop points from here. So, I think Jesus ultimately will be pretty pleased. I don't think there's any question marks for the top 5. I think it's a pretty obvious pit stop here. I don't think... I mean, because the gap to P6, and they would be able to see this on their track map, so I'm not giving anything away. Because the gap to P6 is so big, it's pretty obvious to pit here. Really confident in saying that anybody who chooses to stay out in that top 5 here will regret it. So I have got it wrong before. I will say, I have got it wrong before. Nisiev is in, Grezza is in, Grimmy is in, Jesus is in, Nick is in. I mean, the only one that might be a little... Well, Nisiev obviously had pulled a gap, so he might be a bit hard done by this. But the other one might be Grimmy, because he was up right on the back of Grezza, pretty much just waiting for the next straight to be able to overtake him. The tyres were working great still. So he'd been feeling pretty confident, maybe, of catching the leader. And now, they're all going to be on the same tyres, apart from Nick, who's put softs on. Well, maybe. By the time the safety car comes in, probably is only going to be 8 laps, I'd imagine. So, let's update you quickly with how they stand in terms of the championship. I'm not sure how that happened, but Jesus has gotten past. Well, Grimmy's dropped down to P5 in the pit stops. Jesus is now right on the back of Grezza. So, let's just... find it. Typical now, I can't find it in it. Where are the points? I can't find the point structure now. I was looking for it, but it doesn't matter. I can look at the standings, should be fine. So, as we said, just go back over it while we got the safety car out. So Grezza was leading by 12 points at the start of the race. Oh, sorry, I've been giving you the wrong information. Sorry, I thought a win was 30 points. I was looking at the wrong thing. Right, okay. Of course, there's different points because of sprint races and all sorts. Go on. So let's make sure I get this right this time. Right, so as it stands, Grezza would be getting 20 points. And Jesus would be getting 18. So obviously Grezza would win by 14. He needs a 12-point turnaround, and I'm just trying to work out. So if Jesus won this race, he would get 25. Which means he'd need Grezza, I believe, to finish 6th, 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, yeah. So actually, yeah, sorry, my apologies. Grezza, yeah, so Jesus would need to win this race with Grezza finishing 6th, I believe. My maths are right, so I've just realised there's all sorts of different points on the standings, which is what I was looking at earlier. Constructors, Alpine 447, Williams 420 at the start of the race. By my workings, which may not be correct, as I'm finding out, Alpine would still win the Constructors title as it stands with Jesus in P3. That would put them on to 4, 6, 5. and Williams wouldn't be scoring 45 points or 46 points in the positions they are. Well, in fact, I don't think you can score 46 points. Maybe you can with fastest lap and stuff, but generally. So, safety car in this lap. See, it is accelerating away from the Haas. We do have an Alfa Romeo. But that's Bobble, who's retired out. And his car comes out the pits and stops on, well, to the side of the track it should be. And then should disappear within a few seconds. So, as it stands right this moment, Grezza would be Drivers' champion, but Jesus would be the Constructors' champion, along with, of course, well, Paul, who's out of the race tonight. Thank you, Connor. The Alfa Romeo's double stacked. I didn't see that, but thank you very much. So, away we go. Everybody kicks off nice and calmly. Everybody grouped back together now, so it's an extra chance for everyone. Grezza's coming under a bit of pressure. Jesus to the inside of Grezza. Championship contenders are side by side into the hairpin. And Jesus, to me, looks like he's got this. I thought Grezza would move over into the slipstream, but he didn't. And now Nick's gone through as well, but he's going to go through... Oh, goodness me, what on earth was that? It had to be a, there had to be some lag going on there. That's clearly lag going on there. Oh, it is happening again, look. Oh, is Jesus going to disconnect? It's affecting Grezza though, look, because... it's putting Grezza right off, weirdly. But this is just lag. On Jesus' behalf. So, the championship contenders have dropped to 4th and 5th. It still had no effect on the Constructors' Championship. That will still go to Alpine as it stands. But it means now that Nisiev has a commanding lead, 1 3/4 second over Nick, who's obviously gone to the softs, so should be feeling pretty good on his tyres at this stage. But it won't last long. Those softs will go off pretty quick around Abu Dhabi. I think he I think he's probably changed to the wrong tyre by going soft, Sanjak, but may regret that later on. But then he might not have had anything. There was some mediums used in qualifying, so perhaps he didn't have anything else. Jack gets past Deadly Supreme, and behind though his Ferrari teammate gets past Soljard, and he's also having a look at his teammate. So wicking to the inside of Deadly Supreme. Ferrari's side by side. Who's going to come out on top? It looks like the Wicked, although Deadly Supreme will have the inside for the right-handers. They don't want to back off. The Ferrari team will have their head in their hands right now. They won't be able to look. Absolutely superb helicopter cam. In the end, then, it looks like Deadly Supreme has held him off. But it's going to cost him a couple of places as well, I think. He's lost one to the Red Bull. Big D might follow through as well. No, doesn't quite. Wicken does hold Big D off, although Big D, of course, penalty free, so could be in for a whole host of position gains at the end of this race. Well, you can't serve a drive-through penalty under safety car, Bubble, and never listen to the game when it tells you to unlap yourself, because it's lying. It doesn't let you do it at all. Don't know what else to say about that bubble, to be quite honest with you. But, in a way, Greza then P5 with Convicted Wolf on the back of him. Here's Convicted Wolf. He needs to do anything here. He's got 3 lap older tyres than Greza. Greza, since the restart, he's struggling. There's no doubt about that. He is struggling. I know, obviously, seeing that Jesus' internet started having all sorts of problems and spewing up and stuff, so, but he's still, since then, Greza's dropped back. And there's a whole host of cars on the back. I wonder if he's picked up any damage. So here comes Jack, is he? No. Seemed to be gaining on the Red Bull, but then as soon as he moved out of the slipstream, the Red Bull took off again. Tiny bit of contact between the two. The Ferrari of Deadly Supreme trying to roll the dice on that as well. This actually gives Greza a tiny bit of breathing space as Jesus is battling with Nick here to try and take P3. Maybe that's the first sign that the softs are already starting to struggle a bit. As I said, they won't last long. Not at Abu Dhabi. Quite sure who to watch right now. I think Jesus is probably the one we should be watching. Group behind Greza is so tight. See, Jesus, we see this flashing light on Nick. He's catching him with the use of the slipstream, but not the use of overtake. I wonder if he'll apply some overtake on the second straight. So it takes a pretty wide line. Up DRS again, and this time Nick doesn't have DRS, so this is going to be a pretty straightforward overtake. He does use overtake his energy there, Jesus. I'm not sure if he really needed that, but made sure of getting the move done, and he is now onto the podium in P3. At the moment, the points differential is not enough, and the fact that 5 out of the next 6 cars behind Greza have penalties is making it less and less likely that gap's going to grow. Now Jesus will be attempting to get within the 1 second of Grimmy. Said, really, in all honesty, in all truthfulness, I think Jesus needs to win this race. I don't think he can win the title unless he wins the race, and then it's asking a lot from probably Big D to get past Greza before the end. And the fact that Nisiev is 4 seconds up the road from Grimmy, who's currently P2, makes that even less likely. Jack seems to back off and not want to go for the overtake at that point. Oh, now Jack's made a mistake, and that's going to allow Big D through. So Big D. Oh, Jack's coming back at him though. Look at the straight line speed on that Haas. Big D must be thinking to himself, I had you done. You were gone. I was past you. So here he goes again, Big D. Definitely seems to scan the corners better, doesn't he? I expect the mediums are helping with that now. It's just Jack's straight line speed once he gets up there. Once he gets up to his full speed, he seems to absolutely fly. A rocket ship. Let's just keep an eye. Let's see what it's like this time. You can see that Big D's got better traction, better grip, allowing better traction. Yeah, Big D's going to get an opportunity. You feel probably on the second straight against Grezza. Nah, this time Jack can't do anything about coming back. If anything, actually, he's coming under attack. Look from the Red Bull of Convicted Wolf. So I don't usually do this, but I am tonight. Let's have a look at the penalties. So P7 to P10 are all 3-second penalties, so they are all battling each other for position. It's a genuine battle between this group. And Mushroom will be hoping to stay close to them because he's got a chance of picking up multiple positions as he's still penalty free. Soldier unfortunately has seen a whole host of penalties, and I wouldn't be massively surprised if he saw another one coming his way after an instant earlier on. Big D is getting closer and closer to Grezza, but as I said, Jesus would need to win the race. So, onto the straight we go. DRS opens. Down the straight we come. Big D on the inside. Goes past Grezza. Not a lot Grezza can do. Can he maybe try a switch back? Will he just hold off and hope to try and do the same back on the next lap maybe? I just wonder, I do wonder if Grezza's got damage though. He was in that front group. As I said, there's no obvious signs of damage, but that doesn't mean there isn't any. Not always. In the front group the whole way through the first half of this race before the safety car. And since then, there seemed to be some problem with Jesus's Wi-Fi that just seemed to kept making his car. It kept looking like he was brake checking. That's what it looked like, but he wasn't. It was internet connection. But the problem was the car behind him was Grezza. So it must have, goodness knows what Grezza must have been thinking. So Grezza did get Big D back, so but it's going to be the same scenario now. I think Jack being right on the back of Big D, well, he's dropped off a bit under traction again, but this time you would think Big D will go the other way. He's going to try and make the move on the second straight. Both take a very similar line. Both get decent exits actually. I think Big D will have an opportunity. Grezza does have more energy. With the power of DRS, they're going to be side by side into the left-hander. Big D will have the inside of the right-handers, but is he fully alongside? He is. If I was Grezza, I'd back off, and yeah, I think he did, in all fairness. I think Big D did that, he had it well. Nisiev takes victory in Abu Dhabi. Second half of the race was a bit quiet for him. He got away well under the safety car. Remy takes P2, Jesus on the podium, P3, Nick P4, Grezza gets ahead of Big D at the death and takes P5, Big D P6, Jack P7, Mushroom P8, Convicted Wolf P9, Deadly Supreme P10, Wiccan 11, Soldier 12, and Max does bring the Williams home for P13 to gain valuable points, but it is congratulations. Obviously anything I say now is pending any potential steward reports or anything like that, any reports that go in. But I don't think. Well, I haven't seen anything in the race that would change the fact that I believe. Congratulations to Greza, who I believe has just become the drivers' champion for Tier 2. But at the same time, although he may not have taken the drivers today, it's congratulations to Alpine, who have taken the Constructors' Championship. Again, as I say, is pending any reports that may go in, guys, but I believe that's the case tonight. I think that's the way we're going with this. So, fastest lap of the race goes to Nisiev with 1 minute 24.341. Let's just scroll through. Ideally with the penalties open as well, so that the guys can see. Just in case this information is needed by stewards or anyone like that. And let's get in then. Obviously, I can only speak to Xbox people, unfortunately, guys. So I'm going to invite a few people. So let's get Grimmy, Greza, and I'll invite Nick. See if Nick wants to come in. So let's just do the register. Oh, I think I've missed it. Oh, damn, sorry.
Hiya.
There we go. Hello. Just click to include your audio, Greza. I've invited a few of you, but I don't know if the others going to join or not. But you're the main person to speak to anyway, really. So it's congratulations, I believe, pending any potential reports.
Yeah.
It is congratulations that you've taken the Drivers' Championship in FGR Tier 2. So congratulations, mate.
Thanks.
Please tell me what's happened after the safety car, because
I don't know why I do it to myself, honestly.
Well, it looks on my screen like Jesus has gotten past you, and all of a sudden his Wi-Fi starts going or something. Is what it looked like. And
It all
looked
started
like
happening.
He was trying to brake check you.
No, it all started
But
happening.
it wasn't.
Right, when the safety car came in, it came up safety car this lap, so I was changing my brake bias. And I don't know whether the game slows you down or Nissev slammed on, but I've run into the back of him and I've got front wing damage.
Yeah.
I was like,
right.
oh fuck. And then I'm trying to deal with that, and then someone was lagging. I think it was Jesus or it was me. Just really complicated this situation, but I don't know how I managed to keep fifth for that long. I was just getting a really good exit, and the damage was on the other side, so I was getting the exit.
Yeah.
And I think I had good straight line speed, so where I was slow, no one could overtake me in sector 3. So
yeah. Well, if my maths is right, I think if Jesus won, then you'd have had to have come fifth. So Jesus finished third, and you still finished fifth. So I don't think there's any issues there.
Yeah, they take reserves out, so
oh, do they?
You're not sure. That's when Nissev won't be first. It will be Grimmy, was it?
Yeah.
So I'll be fourth if that's the case. But yeah,
right. If that's the case, then even more so. But for Jesus, there is consolidation because it is his team have still taken a Constructors' Championship. So fair play to Jesus and his teammate. I think it was Paul Piddy for that one. Jesus is asking, was it just me lagging or was everyone? People were teleporting on my screen. I believe it was you, Jesus. You're on my screen. You were the only car that was sort of teleporting. So, Nick's left the party again. Yeah, so I think, Jesus, it was just you, mate. But, yeah, he's joined the party again. He's in and out. In and out, shake it all about. Yeah. Any sort of season-defining moments, Greza, that stick out for you? Obviously, I was only here for the last few races, so... But
I've got to say, Brazil was one of the best races I've had on this game a few races ago. That was amazing. When they had Big D, Grimmy, and was it Jesus up there with us as well? DRS and all race. Oh, that was a great race. I actually can't remember the start of the season now. I'm just getting home.
Okay, Nick, I've invited you in as well, and glad to speak to you. So, P4, I think, on track, but with reserves coming out, you go up to P3, I think. So... Right.
Shit,
Yeah.
yeah.
Definitely. Yeah.
Thank you,
Yeah.
mate.
Absolutely.
Thanks.
And the
I don't know
the
how with one ring damage. Oh,
yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
no.
Yeah,
Uh,
so yeah, they were having a bit of a battle last few laps, but yeah, it was good fun. There's battles going through the field even before the safety car, so it was a good race to watch tonight. I must admit. Brazil was amazing, says Big D. So that was clearly a good one for him. Nisiev, I think, has joined us.
Yes, I have.
Yes, excellent. I'm hoping that they can hear you on the stream.
Yes, I have.
Yes, they can. Excellent. Okay, so congratulations on the race win. Strong performance throughout, really, qualifying through to the end of the race. You got away after the safety car. I think that was the telling moment. You got away just before the safety car as well, and you pulled about a second and a half to 2 seconds, something like that. Then obviously the safety car punched you up, but you got away really quickly after the safety car. So I think that was vital. Is that how you see it?
Yeah, I had the pace on hard, so I didn't mind the safety car. I didn't understand what happened to me in the first stint. Nowhere on pace. So I was kind of nervous going on to the mediums again because I showed no pace on the first stint. So I thought, oh fuck, I'm not gonna have the lead there. But I managed to get the gap. So yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, pretty much sums it up. I mean, um, there were certainly some coming through. I don't think. I mean, after the safety car, I think your closest competitor was on softs to start with, and I think I don't know. I think it was always a case that they were probably going to start dropping off.
Yeah, I was considering going to softs, but yeah, I knew they weren't going to
They drop
die.
off fast at Abu Dhabi, don't they?
Yeah.
It's one of the tracks they really don't like it there. So yeah. Um, well, in a way, congratulations, man. Thanks for adding me and then joining the chat as well, just to have a quick chat. So, but as I say, the big congratulations tonight go to Greza for the championship victory, and to Alpine on the Constructors' Championship as well. Other than that, guys, I think that unless anybody else wants to add anything.
no, just echo
No,
it's been a really
no.
good season, really.
Yeah, no problem. So,
Yeah, back to streaming for the last few.
yes, yeah, no worries. No, I've enjoyed it. I've enjoyed coming into a different league and doing a bit of comms. And on a short qualifying, oh man, I so much prefer doing comms on short qualifyings. It's just not as boring.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right, okay, guys. Well, thank you ever so much to everybody that's watched along with me, and thanks to anybody who watched the stream back. I really appreciate it. So do the leagues, do the comms for us. So thank you very much. What day is it? It's Sunday, so I'm racing tomorrow night. So I'll be back live on Tuesday for WAOF1 at 8 p.m. So come and watch that one. So yeah, thank you very much. Good night, God bless, and see you again soon.